friends, it's almost time. Time for what? Time for Miss Melinda's Bible story time. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. Good evening, I love you. Good evening to all of my Storytime friends. I'm so glad that you could be here with me this evening as we continue our trip through the Children's Bible. And today we'll be talking about a very special person, Abraham, and how even when it was difficult, Abraham chose to follow God. From Genesis 12, 13, and 17. Abraham and Sarah loved God very much. Abraham means father of Mary. Sarah means princess. Do you know what your name means? If you'd like to know what your name means, you can have an adult help you look it up on the internet. Abraham had many sheep, cattle, and camels, when Sarah lived in the desert and slept in tents. Don't forget the goats. How many goats with beards can you count? Let's look at the picture and see. I see one beautiful goat with a beard. Let me look and see if we can see some more. I see two goats with a beard. And I see three goats with a beard. Those are nice. I think, and I see four goats with a beard. Those are called billy goats. One night, God told Abraham he would make his family into a great nation. Abraham believed God and trusted him. What nation are you a part of? Would you believe God if he told you something amazing? Here, we're a part of the United States of America, a truly great nation that was built on a foundation of loving God. Isn't that fantastic? And I don't know about you, friends, but if God tells me he's going to do an amazing thing in my life, then I'm going to believe him, just as I think you should too. God also promised Abraham and Sarah a new homeland. So they packed their tents onto camels and traveled until God told them when and where to stop. Pack your bags. Who's the leader here? Who was the leader in this picture? You might think Abraham was the leader, but he wasn't really. Abraham was just at the head of the pack, doing what God, the true leader, told him to do. And now we move into the next story, Abraham's great big family. So when we left Abraham and Sarah, they were on a great journey to a new homeland. Did they know where they were going? No, but they were trusting God to do an amazing thing in their life. So let's see what happens. Many years went by, and Abraham and Sarah still didn't have a child. They asked God why. How many stars are there? 1,000,000? 1,000,000,000? Can you count them? This is how great and large a family God promised Abraham and Sarah. There are so many stars in the sky, we can't count them all. But God had made a promise to Abraham and Sarah that they would have a family that numbered that many, as many as the stars. But now Sarah was growing old, and they still had no children. One day, 3 strangers visited Abraham and Sarah, who served them their best food. One of the visitors said Sarah would soon have a son. More than anything else, Abraham and Sarah wanted a baby, a child, just like you. So one day, 3 visitors came to their home. And what do you think your mom or your grandma would do if strangers came to your house? Well, Sarah, she invited them in and fed them their best food, even though Abraham and Sarah probably didn't have a whole lot of food back in those days. But she fed them their best, and the stranger told her that she would have a son. This was probably very surprising to Sarah because she was past the age when mommies can have a baby. Sarah was listening from inside the tent. She laughed because she was now very old, too old to have a baby. The visitor said, "Why did Sarah laugh? Nothing is too hard for the Lord to do." Do you think that if the Lord promised Sarah a baby, anything could get in his way when it came to giving her that baby? No. It's hard to be patient sometimes, but God works in his own time. And there's one thing we know for sure. God keeps his promises. Sarah was baffled by what she heard, but Abraham knew that the visitor was the Lord. It was the Lord coming to visit them and just disguising himself. A year later, Abraham and Sarah finally had their little boy, Isaac, God's own gift. Isaac was the beginning of the great big family God had promised them. Isaac means laughter. Whom did Isaac make happy when he was born? Who did you make happy when you were born? Who do you think Isaac made happy when he was born? I bet he made his mother Sarah very happy because she had prayed and asked the Lord for a child, and she had waited so long and was so patient. And finally he was there. And whenever you have to wait for something a long time, it's even sweeter when it comes. And I bet he made his dad Abraham very happy too. And he made the Lord happy. Isn't that wonderful? And you are a special creation in God too. And he knew you and loved you from before the days you were born. And the Lord loves you so, so much. I always want you to remember that, friends. And you know who else loves you? All your church family at Elk River Church of the Nazarene and Charleston First Church of the Nazarene. And until we're able to see each other again, know that Miss Melinda loves you too. Be patient and trust in the Lord because he keeps his promises. Goodbye, friends.